Nowadays, few people remember the reason for Everlight's wealth, the glittering mine. For a long time, it was believed that moonsilver, the most precious and most durable ore of Io, could only be mined in the Windwall Mountains, the empire of the dwarves. All this changed when an unsuspecting farmer found a piece of the shimmering ore while digging a well. A gold rush followed, and Everlight, back then a modest town, grew into the metropolis it is today. The mine was depleted decades ago, but the wealth remained.
Two corpses, and they show symptoms of bloodburn.
But it wasn't the bloodburn that killed them. The blisters on their faces had only just started to appear. Do you see that flask? It appears they took a poison.
I need help over here.
Got it.
So, what's the plan?
Undead. You read my mind.
You got it.
Yes. They will fall.
I need help over here.
Yes.
Sure.
Will do.
Donc c'est la suite du live d'hier. Hier j'ai fait 2 fails dans la mine, j'ai mouru, j'ai perdu la mission. Donc là on recline la mine pour finir la quête et ensuite j'irai explorer une nouvelle zone. Donc je crois que c'est la zone elfe si je dis pas de bêtises. Et donc là ça sera une map normale où on faudra construire une base, une armée, une économie et raser toute la map quoi. Voilà, ça sera déjà bien parce que les maps elles sont longues. Donc là je vais clean la mine au maximum avant d'activer le PNJ parce que le PNJ il traverse la mine comme un fou et faut pas qu'il meure et il prend de gros dégâts. Alors là je vais clean avant de l'activer. Et ça sera déjà bien.
I need help over here.
Ce sera déjà bien, les cartes elles sont assez grandes donc voilà. Je dirais que la mine c'est long.
here.
Merde, merde, merde. Elle va
Just
mourir,
give the
elle va
word.
mourir, non.
Yes.
I need healing.
I need help over here.
Là, je galère un peu avec les mobs. Donc, je vais y aller tout doucement.
We should get moving.
Je vais la clean à 100% pour récupérer un maximum de stuff, d'XP,
That way?
etc.
Rick, someone's coming.
I know.
Understood.
Sounds like a plan.
Understood. More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
Ah, it is you.
Didn't you say in front of the mine?
I did, but then I realized that it might be wise to scout ahead in order to get a clearer picture of the situation. Come, let us go. The golem and its supposed friend should be further down the mine. Follow me.
Let's see. Now would you look at that? Greetings. Are you?
Rick, who are they? I'm afraid.
Don't worry, Hubert. They are not here to hurt you. Judging by the sounds of fighting we heard, I take it you took care of those undead. If so, you have my thanks. They appeared out of nowhere just a couple of days ago and locked us in.
They are dead. We're here to ask you some questions about your friend.
I figured. So I'm guessing you heard the rumors, right? Yes, this is the golem with a soul. And yes, I am the odd fellow protecting him. But before I tell you anything, promise me that you won't hurt him.
I know he might look intimidating, but he's actually quite sensitive.
If he doesn't hurt us, we won't hurt him.
He won't. Trust me, hurting anybody is the last thing on Hubert's mind. So, what do you want to know? You didn't come here to take him away, did you?
Hubert is a stone golem. Why didn't you kill these undead yourselves if they trapped you?
Kill? Hubert? I told you he couldn't hurt a fly. He doesn't look it, but in his head, he's just like a child.
Why Hubert?
It was my grandfather's name. And one day, I simply started calling Hubert that, and it stuck.
How did you come to know Hubert? I mean, you don't just come up to a golem and start a conversation.
Right. You don't. I found him laying half dead just outside this mine. Some creature drained him of his essence, a ghost or something.
Darkness came and stole my light. It hurt. It hurt so bad.
I know, Hubert, but it's over now.
For some reason, I immediately noticed that Hubert was different. In every other situation, I would have simply turned away and alarmed the guard, but I just couldn't. So I went into the city to find a mage.
Who?
Joseph. His name was Joseph.
He is not with the Creators Guild. And this Joseph agreed to help you.
Well, he still owed me a favor, so... Yes, I asked him to heal Hubert. And even though he told me it was dangerous, he eventually did it. When it was done, he told me to get away as soon as possible, as it might wake up again soon. But just like when I had first seen him there, I simply knew that there was something in him. Something that made him more than just a construct. So I waited. And it turned out I was right. You can figure out the rest. I took him into the mine, as the Everlight guards would have attacked him on sight. And here, we became friends.
So you took him into the cave to protect him?
Yes. Of course, word eventually got through to the townsfolk. But you're the first to follow up on the rumors.
And before these undead woke up, this place was actually quite peaceful. A bit gloomy, yes, but safe. And that's what matters.
How long ago is it that you found him?
Let me think. Almost 4 moons now.
How did you become friends, though?
Rick, friendly. Rick always friendly. Rick, care for me.
Well, maybe friendship isn't the proper word for it. It's more like I care for him, the way a father cares for a child. And yes, I know how funny that sounds considering Hubert's size.
Hubert, what makes you different from other golems? When did you realize you can think for yourself?
I don't know. I always had thoughts, always had ideas, but I did not know how to tell people about them. After the ghost attacked me and Rick healed me, he taught me how to speak.
Taught?
Yes. Yes, of course. Rick taught me how to speak.
Hubert is a very good student. He learned how to speak almost fluently in just a couple of months. If only men were half as eager to learn, maybe we wouldn't be in this mess we find ourselves in.
He could also carry the spirit of a person in him. Did you ever think of that?
If so, it was the spirit of an infant. As I said, all I did was offer Hubert guidance and, well, love.
What are your plans for Hubert? Neither he nor you can stay in this cave forever.
Honestly, I don't know. Hubert is such a good lad, and I want him to have a normal, happy life. As bizarre as that sounds when talking about a golem. He would love to make friends and...
Yes, friends. Rick, will these misters be my new friends?
Hubert, what did we say about interrupting other people when they're talking?
It's rude. And it makes people sad.
Do you want me to be sad, Hubert?
No, Rick. I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Just don't do that again.
Anyway, I try not to think about it. And until you showed up and killed those undead, I wasn't even sure we'd ever make it out of that cave again.
All right, look, my friend here would like to learn more about Hubert's uniqueness. It would be of great scientific value. Would it be possible for us to examine him?
I don't know. Will it harm him?
Golems were created to endure pain.
What my friend is trying to say is he will do everything he can to keep Hubert comfortable.
What do you think, Hubert?
I don't know.
Fine. If you think it will help us understand Hubert better, then I don't want to be an obstacle. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Then let us begin. Interesting. Truly interesting. Hubert, I am done. You can rest now.
It wasn't bad, Rick. It tickled a little, but it didn't hurt.
So, what did you find out?
Not much. But let me discuss it with my companion first. Tahar, if you please.
Where is the kind sir going, Rick? I liked him.
They're just going to have a talk. They'll come back.
Let's see.
So let me be brief. I inspected Hubert's magical core, and it is rather unusual. It's overflowing with magical essence, unlike anything I've ever seen. My theory is that his remarkable intelligence comes from this irregularity. Unfortunately, I believe that the very same irregularity is also dangerous. The essence within him seems unstable. It is very likely that it will eventually get out of control and cause an explosion unlike anything this land has ever seen. To me, it appears we have two options. We can destroy the golem, or take it back to the guild and try to harness its power, with the chance to stabilize the core and allow it to live. I do not think I should make that choice. I consider myself a rational person, but I'm afraid that my fascination with the matter clouds my judgment.
Couldn't we just take him somewhere secluded and leave him be?
I'm afraid that's out of the question. We just don't know what the long-term effect of this instability would be. He could, for example, become feral and use his incredible power to wipe out a city or two. Killing him is the merciful option if his welfare is your primary concern.
What do you mean by harness his power?
Well, the possibilities are endless. If we can replicate the structure of its core and stabilize it, it has the potential to change the world. We might even be able to recreate it, thus giving us a power source with the chance to recreate life. Obviously, there is no guarantee these experiments will bear fruit. We would also be risking blowing Everlight to smithereens in the process. If I had to make a guess, I would say that there is a 40% chance that the golem will be stabilized, and we will be able to harness the core. A 40% chance that it will die in perceived agony, and a 20% chance of triggering the devastating explosion.
That's a tough decision. Let me talk to Rick.
Of course.
That's the... way? This way, right?
So, what did you and your friend talk about?
Well, there's no good way to say this. Hubert's magic core is very unusual. It's overflowing with energy, and while this energy is what makes him sentient, it also makes him dangerous. If we let Hubert stay here, the core might eventually become unstable and explode. The only way to save him is to take him to the Creators Guild, where they can try to control his power. Thing is, it might be a painful experience for Hubert. I'm sorry, but it's the only way. The alternative would be to kill him.
You bloody monster! No! There's no way I'm letting you do this! He's a person, damn it, not some toy for some mages to tinker with! You'll have to kill me first!
Rick, you're outnumbered, and I'm offering you and Hubert a chance. Don't you see it? You can either die here like a fool, or make sure Hubert gets through the entire ordeal together with you.
Well, I guess you're right, aren't you? I don't have a chance against you all. But let me say this. If I learn that anything happens to Hubert, I will come and hunt you down, even if it costs my life.
Hubert, it's time to go. We're moving into a new home.
What? I'm going to see the outside again? Just how you promised.
Yes, just how I promised.
Well, I must say that I'm happy you made that decision. I will go back to the guild now and prepare my things for our journey as discussed. I will see you there.
Just give the word. You got it.
Walking corpses. Take them down.
Sure.
Ugh, undead.
Sounds like a plan.
Damn it! I need healing! Interesting. Let's see. Now would you look at that? Got it. Let's see.
That way?
Interesting. Will do.
Sure.
Understood.
Blasted armor.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, why not? Sure. Blasted armor.
You asked for this.
Now would you look at that?
This way, right?
Sure.
Let's see.
That's the way?
You got it.
Now would you look at that?
Sure.
Interesting. Let's see. Got it. Understood.
Blasted armor.
Sure.
More of them. This place is a bloody graveyard.
More fighting. Does this never end? This way, right?
That thing is huge. Will do.
Damn it! I need healing.
That way? Sounds
I need
like a
help
plan.
over here.
Killed one of our heroes.
Got it.
Yes?
Yes.
Stay with me.
Understood.
Will you? Yes?
A golem. Don't let down your guard.
Alright, why not? Corporal? We should get moving.
That way? So, what's the plan? Sure.
Understood.
Yes? That's the way.
Now would you look at that?
This way, right?
That way?
Interesting. 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 Let's see. Interesting.
Sounds like a plan.
Interesting.
Blasted armor. Sure. Alright, why not? This way, right?
Ugh, I'm dead.
Got it. That way?
What's next?
Here we go. Sounds like a plan.
That's the way.
Sure. You got it.
Got it. Will do.
Huh?
Interesting.
Sounds like a plan.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city has its own mountain of problems to struggle with. The biggest ones being the ever-growing gap between the rich and the poor, an uncontrollable rise in crime, and the Purity of Light's aggressive crusade for new followers.
Yes. That way?
As a neutral, apolitical association of mages solely devoted to the study of magic, the members of the Creators Guild were among the few.
Huh?
You got it.
Let's see.
Ah, there you are. In case you were wondering, I sent 2 mages to help Richard and Hubert find their way to the guild. It will be a marvelous opportunity to deepen our knowledge on magic. I'm still fascinated by the idea that an abundance of magic is able to create sentience. Just think of what that entails. Either way, I am ready to join you. I need to take care of some formalities first, but I'm ready to depart before next dawn. Where shall we meet? According to your story, the Shaper City is in the middle of Iskander, is it not?
Understood. Now would you look at that?
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city...
What do we need?
Just give the word.
Got it.
As a free city, Everlight's leadership is not chosen by the right of blood.
You have my attention.
If it isn't the pariah, I didn't expect you back so soon. What do you need?
I'm here because I came across a victim of bloodburn. One of the farmers in the outskirts seems to exhibit symptoms of late-stage bloodburn. I think it's best if your men look into that.
Bloodburn. I see. Thank you for reporting this to me. Learning more about this blasted disease is a difficult task. If more people were so quick to report the cases, we'd surely know more about it by now. Here's a small token of gratitude for your diligence. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's see.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed.
So, what's the plan?
Tiara's breath. You haven't promised too much, Tahar. This place is incredible.
Just wait until you see it in action.
Just don't forget we're here for a purpose.
I won't. I'll go talk to Flynn now. We need to find a good place to set up camp. And, if you want to talk, about the past, then feel free to come by.
In any case, with our new alloys, we should be able to go look for the stones. Let's talk at the forge.
Though it might be wise to look for more support first. We don't know what to expect there.
Interesting.
Finally out of this blasted city. What a mess.
How are you settling in?
Well, I'm still trying to get used to the idea that I'll be working in an old shape of ruin from now on. Either way, I promised you my help, and here I am. Give me some material and some coin, and I promise you that I'll fabricate the finest weapons and armors you have ever seen.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
What can I do for you today?
So, you're from the Windwall Mountains?
A bit of a mess since the rebellion. Reynold Hallett, House Hallett's former leader, fell in the Battle of Greykeep. And now...
You don't sound too happy about that.
Well, word has it he's too emotional and too inexperienced, and from what I've seen, the rumors are true. He cares, but I guess there isn't much we can do about it.
I want to equip the Wayfarers.
I had hoped as much. What do you need?
Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. Come again. May Tiara
Understood.
bless your path.
Ah, Tahar.
Seems your men have made themselves comfortable.
Yeah, they have. But blazes, Tahar. I know I've said it before, but this place is incredible. It's also a very good base of operations. Should we make enemies, and I hope it doesn't come to that, we're well prepared. But I'm guessing that's not what you came here for. You want to talk, right? About what I did 8 years ago?
Why did you do it? Why did you tell my father about my plan?
Well, what do you want me to say? I did it because back then I still believed in your father's vision. What you, Zane, and Helena were going to do, it just seemed, I don't know, wrong. But that doesn't mean it was an easy decision. Also, I didn't think he'd execute you. Probably naive, I know, but it's the truth. You see, I joined Asamo because there was truth in his words. The masks, the pikes, all that hatred against us defilers that the purity of light is spreading now. It was all already there. The people always feared us, simply because we were different. Because we are better than they. Your father, he knew something like that would happen eventually. So he stood up and tried to stop it before it was too late. At least that's what he said. And to be honest, I still don't know if he only lost that vision, or had never had it to begin with.
I can't believe you're saying this. The reason people hate us mages now is because of what my father did. He confirmed their fears for them by starting this goddamn war.
Oh, really? And what about all that shit that happened beforehand? The witch burnings, Mages driven out of the cities, gifted children abandoned by their mothers.
Did you just say because we are better?
Yes, better. How else should I say it? We cast fire from our hands, heal wounds with a mere thought, so how would you call it? I call it superior. And the ungifted know it as well as we do. But does that mean that we want to kill them? No. We're not animals, we're people, just like they are. Only that we are the lions and they are the cats. We didn't choose to be that way, but it's what nature chose for us.
I don't know. But to me, it sounds like you're still trying to justify what you did in that war.
That's where you're wrong. It's not all black and white, Tahar. And you of all people should know that. I know I made mistakes. And I've spent the past 7 years making amends. What else do you think the Wayfarers are for? Why else would I have left? And look, I do not expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I could do it if I were in your position.
I remember that back in the rebellion, ancient relics such as godstones were your specialty. Is there anything interesting you could tell me about them?
Interesting? That depends on what you mean by that. I mean, it goes without saying that what this rune allows us to do is beyond fascinating. Apart from that, I could only tell you the things you already know. How both the Hibernians and Shapers worshipped them and...
So, regarding the Wayfarers, you said you founded them to make amends. Is that true? And if yes, how did you found them?
Yes, otherwise I wouldn't have said it. As to how I formed them, it's a long story. And maybe one...
I want to talk about my father.
I figured you'd want to eventually. What is it you want to know?
Do you think it's true? That he was simply crazy?
Towards the end, yes. He had certainly lost his sanity. But before that, I still don't know. I've said it before, but there's one part of me that likes to think he was a madman to begin with. And then there's the other voice that tells me that he was merely a visionary who had lost his way. But if there's one thing I know, it's that he was a leader. Whenever he spoke to us, it was...
You sound almost nostalgic.
Nostalgic? No. It's just... I've never met someone with that energy.
This might sound strange, but... do you see any resemblance between him and me?
Interesting that you ask. Yes, there were moments where I could not help but notice that certain... something that strongly reminds me of your father.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I think that the best way to describe it is a sort of look in your eyes. It's somehow distant, but at the same time driven and intense. And it can be both intimidating and charismatic. I believe that it's this energy that helped your father rally the noble houses and all these mages behind him. And ironic as it may be, it might help you with our cause too.
My father never told me of how he grew up. Do you know anything about that?
About his childhood? I'm afraid not. He shared some fragments of his past with me, but probably no more than he shared with you.
Let's discuss something else. I'll be off. Will do. Now would you look at that?
Now look at that. The fabled Corporal. Good to finally meet you in person. I'm Flynn, second in command of the Wayfarers. I have to say, for someone who only led a puny Northander division once, you're doing quite a good job. Anyway, have you come to arm our men?
But you're armed already, aren't you?
Well, yes, with rusty swords and dented armors. I mean with proper equipment. If you give me the coin, I'll send out orders to my contacts in Everlight. It'll improve our strike force significantly.
I want to buy some better equipment for the Wayfarers.
Music to my ears. What did you have in mind?
Understood. Interesting.
I must say, I am impressed.
With Mullendeer? Yes, it's quite a sight. I still can't believe we're the first ones who found this place.
It seems unlikely, yes, but yet it happened. Isgrim, the dwarf, told me about it. He said that the rock illusion shielding the entrance vanished as soon as you spoke the words, and that it did not react to Isgrim himself. Tell me, Tahar, what do you make of that?
Maybe I'm connected to this place.
But how? I know there is more to you than meets the eye. Something about you is different, although I cannot say what it is. I believe we stand on the verge of a change. Things have happened, Tahar. Things, the extent of which we have not even come close to comprehending. And they have set something in motion.
How do you know this? Are you some kind of medium?
A medium? No, quite the opposite. I'm an observer. As you have undoubtedly noticed, I lack the, let us call it, emotional intensity most people display in their daily lives. That can be a challenge, but it also allows me a unique perspective on the world. And to me, it is evident that the war your father started has done more than simply given birth to the purity of light. It was the first pebble in what will soon become an avalanche.
You're talking about the Bloodburn?
Among other things, yes. But as I said, there is more to it. All this, your journey, your role in what Rondar Lacane believes to be a vision sent by Aemir. It is only the beginning. But let us continue this discussion when I can give you more than vague, semi-prophetic statements.
All right. We'll talk later.
Why? When?
When something comes up. I'll go prepare for our next mission now.
Understood.
Got it.
Donc là, je dois encore parler à 2-3 personnages. Ah, il est quelle heure? Ouais, ça va. 16h. Chier, j'aurais pas le temps de faire une carte du coup.
Understood.
Il y a beaucoup de blabla dans ce jeu là. Donc là, je vais parler au PNJ. Trouver des alliés elfes, trouver des alliés orques. Et après, je vais aller sur The Division jusqu'à 20h. Division 2. Je vais essayer de faire du matchmaking avec d'autres joueurs. Et clean un peu la map.
Yes.
Là j'ai déjà plus d'alliés, du coup là j'ai 5 € et je pourrais faire le choix au début de chaque mission.
So, this is it, isn't it? Our base of operations?
So it seems.
An ancient Shaper city on a quest to find a cure for the Bloodburn. And we're working for the purity of light. Sounds crazy if you say it like that. Just some weeks ago, I thought I'd be in Greyfell now, trying to make a fresh start as an innkeep.
Innkeep? You?
Hey, don't laugh. What's wrong with some honest work after years of defiling on the road? Getting up early in the morning, setting the tables, serving mulled wine and stew to tired, weary souls. Just a simple, honest life.
Innkeeping is fun, until you find yourself on your knees at dawn, cleaning up the puddles of vomit and beer these tired, weird...
Quite the cynic, aren't you?
So you leave it all behind? The adventuring?
You know. People always act as if these decisions are final. The only way to find out how much I'd like that kind of life is by taking a chance, isn't it? And if one day I wake up and find myself in need of a change, I can still pack up my things and hit the road again. Upsides of Elven blood. There's plenty of time.
For what it's worth, I enjoy your company.
Sure you do. Who else would patch you up after the next monumental battle? Anyway, talk later, shall we? I'm sure you've got battles to prepare. Corporal, need anything?
Tell me about your time on the road. What was it like?
Is that a command, Corporal?
Please?
All right, but I'm afraid there isn't so much to tell. Have you ever been on the road by yourself?
A long time ago, yeah.
Well, then you know how wearisome it can get. Sleeping under the stars sounds romantic at first, until you realize that most of the time it's sleeping in the mud, in drizzle. Most of the time, your stomach and your purse are empty, and your feet are full of blisters. And, of course, there's the constant danger. Especially if you're traveling on your own.
Did you ever have a companion?
Some, yeah, but most of it was just temporary. Though there was one I traveled with for longer. Quentin.
How did you meet?
Coincidence. A small town between Finn and Mir in Lar. We played dice together and he cheated. When I called him out on it, he tried to turn tail. But one of the other guests stopped him for me. They wanted to go give him a beating, but I told them to stop. He gave me back my money and we started talking. And, believe it or not, we found that we got along quite well.
So you started traveling together? With a thief?
I wouldn't call him that. He was just young and careless. We ended up traveling for almost a year.
I see. What was your relationship?
You mean... No, we were just friends. He was way too young for my liking, and I think I was too old for him. We were more like sister and brother.
What was his story? Where was he headed?
Into the blue, same as me. He had quite an interesting task, but I wouldn't feel comfortable sharing it with you, to be honest.
Huh. So how did you split up? What happened?
Nothing dramatic. We came by a village and decided to rest there for a while. The roads had become quite dangerous due to the mage wars, and we didn't want to go out unprepared. I did some healing for the villagers, and he helped out the local smith. He liked it, and the smith wanted him as an apprentice, so he stayed. I was surprised and a bit hurt at first, but then I realized it was probably for the better. I still think of him sometimes, though.
Huh. And how did you make a living?
That was the easiest part. I healed people.
With light magic?
Yes and no. It was my magic that mended the wounds, but since mages are often met with suspicion, how shall I say, got a little creative. Frankly put, whenever I treated someone, I gave them a magical potion to drink, which was just water mixed with some harmless herb to give it color. The rest was laying on hands to help the potion's effect, which was pure light magic and how I did the actual healing.
And that worked?
Better than you'd think. People were fighting over my panacea as if I was Ellen incarnate, while cursing the evil